Hey guys, and welcome back to my Poland into Commonwealth into Europa campaign. This is probably the last episode, because yes, I found Europa, but I want to fix the borders in Europe today. I want to fix the proximity to make it really strong across all of my locations, and I want to make sure everything is integrated. I'm not sure if I can do that last part, but I'll be trying. And I also just want to explore some of the advances I never unlocked before, like railroads, to see how it's gonna impact my proximity. So see, that's why I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cabinet seats doing integrations, 7 just doing diplomatic reputation improvement and improve relations, just so I can improve relations enough with my subjects to annex them, as I want to also clear borders here. And the first thing I'll do today, before they rejoin my coalition, is to attack the Ottomans on the Imperialist casus belli, and I just want their European lands to be taken. At least the forts are in shambles. I don't know what they were doing to their forts, but I took that one for free. How about this one? Bitola. SMH. Yeah, I think it's just Germans that actually paid for and improved the forts. Constantinople, even though it has a fort, just has no people employed here, so location's 350 base tax is just gonna go down within a few days. I bet there was like an earthquake that destroyed it, and now there's any problem. I should not have attacked here with a low morale. But let's see quality-wise. Yeah, the quality of army is not that bad. And I might even lose that battle over the force of Peloponnese. Yeah, we've lost. And I actually have lost more people in this battle as well. Interesting. They reinforce with more people, that's why. Otherwise I would win it. How about when we have a bit more even numbers and even my advantage on the numbers? Yeah, then it's a disaster for them. Yeah, another battle that they've won. It's not like I'm winning for free. They have 800,000 troops. Yeah, I might want to bring a bit more. Worst part about the Imperialist CB is, again, like to get the CB you need to fully occupy them. But it's not even the worst part, because you still get plenty from occupations. The worst part is that you'll not get much from the occupations when they're big allies. And the fact that we have Jalarids here doesn't help. But I can just give them free pass, browse trades. That should be enough after a year of the war. Jalarids army quality is also not bad. Look, we've lost 30,000 troops in this battle, and we have only 1,000 people on the battlefield. They've lost 42,000. But I am about to reinforce here. Just on time to kick their ass. That next advance should be huge, the production efficiency. So you've got 42,000 base tax, and with this done, I'm expecting a pretty massive difference. But we need another month tick or two. Look, 41.7. It has to be a massive difference. 46.5. 10% production efficiency. Production efficiency is tiny bit stronger than it is in EU4, as you see. What I meant by the tolls, if you watch the previous video, you see that there's peace deal type, exemption from sand tolls, the ones in Denmark. Jalarids apparently do care about them a lot, so bye bye Jalarids, no longer here. This goes from minus 11% to plus 2% war score now. Another improvement I decided to do after the last episode is that, I have 70 rebels loading. Whenever I see the rebels loading, I'll be checking where, and I'll be making sure that the fort is removed just next by, and there is a stack next by, just to take it back immediately. Just unlock steel mills, but I don't think steel mills are actually gonna... Ooh, there's a demand for steel in the country? What is using that? Let's see. Let's take Toruń as an example. Steel. There's no demand for steel. Unless in some European markets, but I don't think anyone has this railways. There are some. Okay. Because That's my understanding, that the railways are gonna create a lot of demand for steel. But the railways is the next advance after the current one I will be unlocking. So yeah, I'll anyway spend all of my money on that now. There it is. The European part of the Ottomans is just 56% of the war score. Told you I'll be improving the borders over time. This will be probably Ottomans again as they occupying Naples, but we'll see. There goes the railroads. Let's take a look. Because first of all, this one gives minus 35 proximity cost. If you look at our proximity now, you'll see that the modern round is 30. So it's additional 5. You ask, just 5 difference, it's not much. Let's take a look at one of the faraway locations. What's their proximity? You see this? This is around 3 to 5 proximity costs I have between the locations. So if you reduce it by 5, we should reach the bare minimum, which from my understanding, unless they changed it, should be 1. Let's start building railroads for Warsaw, Warszawa. The locations a bit far away. And at the same time, look at the cost. You see one of the required goods is steel, and looks like I need both more lumber and sand and masonry. All 3 of the goods, I need far more of them in the markets around here to get these railroads much cheaper. That's why I'll be going one by one with all these few goods, and I'll be spamming them. Unless the game doesn't allow me, because as you see, it just got stuck when I clicked on the mason. Okay, there it is. Yeah, I'll be spamming all the markets around our capital market to make sure that I have all of this on the right price. Why I'm not doing anything on the roads yet? I think my estates are already building plenty of them. I just, as a test, let's beat one straight road as far east as possible here. It's gonna cost 33,000. Is it only taking the price of the touring market if you do it from Warsaw to here? I don't think it does. But anyway, I will be getting the buildings I was showing you for the various goods. But first, I want to see what's gonna be impact of that straight line. Finally, after how many years? Over 100 years of a break, Piasts are back on the throne. You remember in the last episode, I was trying so hard to bring them back. And I succeeded. Big chunk of the road is done. Look at this location, proximity is still not great. But look that we got it down to 1.5 in some of these cases. And definitely that next advance I'm working on, proximity cost through roads -2, is gonna take it to 1. All of these railroads already done. Look how the proximity map is changing more and more to green. Even this line, I think I'm lacking the goods here, that's why it's not getting done. Central Europe even is getting greener. And look also that there'll be more locations of max control. Did we finally get Kraków to 100 control? Yes, after so many years. They almost had the population capacity. I'm really curious how that next research is gonna impact our proximity. You see with the roads coming in, it is spreading and getting better. But that new advance should make it even better soon. Oh yes, it definitely had a tiny bit of an impact. Look, for example, proximity to this location, right? Oh, they actually changed it. It can go below 1. It used to be 1 as a flat smallest modifier. See, railroads give me 37 now. So now, you know, without any other modifiers, with just railroads, we just have free proximity between the locations. And then with all of the proximity costs we have stacked, we can decrease it. Like, for example, to 0.91 or lower depending on the location. It's time to invade the British Isles. Of course, I'm already here via the previous war of France. I can declare a new one. This also allows me to get Burgundy after the coalition and hopefully fully annex Papal States. So I can become an empire after this war. Also, I just unlocked our advance for 10% max literacy called Komisja Edukacji Narodowej. You actually notice that my home, town and city locations are already at 100. But I obviously want to take everything else up, especially the terrains that I conquered and that are lowering my average literacy. To show you how absurd sometimes the imperialist casus belli is, I declared on France, and I separate pieced all of the allies. I also killed half of their armies, but I just poppies to be pieced out separately soon. But, you know, again, to get the ticking wars going, you need to fully occupy them, including allies and including subjects. So, France having subjects around here in the New World is pretty much protecting them from any lands being taken. Because as you see, I fully occupied the European lands, pretty much, and I've got as much war score as the ticking is taking from me. The only way I could figure this out is making these guys disloyal, but I don't think I can make them disloyal. Anyway, with Pope annexed, I can at last upgrade my country rank to an empire, which is additional cabinet seat, more cultures capacity, diplomatic reputation, great power scope, but yeah, the possible rivals might hurt, unless they changed it already on that patch. But yeah, additional cabinet member and more of cultures capacity are certainly of use. You know what? Screw it. As we take all of our ships into one place, put the armies there, and we go to the New World to freaking fully annex France. Remember, there's also one rule that wasn't in EU5 here, is that you can separate piece subjects if they're disloyal. So that's also what I'm looking at when thinking about France. Okay, which of your subjects, so I can go to this screen, which of your subjects are disloyal, so you can actually piece them out. But you see, most of them are loyal. You know, overall the rebellions are not so, how to call it, are not so challenging unless they are supported by an external country. Like, for example, Thessaly rebelled here against me, and they called in Ottomans, because I took these terrains from the Ottomans before. Which is not that bad, as I'm gonna get these guys out of the coalition. It looks like for some reason Bohemia got invited into the Mantua War. This one is weird because it is Rostov that was fighting some random here, and now they got Italians and Bohemia in that war. But again, that's great. I can get these guys out of the coalition. That's in case, you know, you're wondering, oh, you're expanding so much, but you're not punished at all by the game for it. Well, yeah, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wars against the rebels at the same time. That takes time, especially the micromanagement, even though it's sure that in the end I will win. I'm steadily getting rid of my subjects, as you see by the borders. Look what kind of bonuses for the annexation cost I'm getting. These guys are being annexed 37 a month, which means I can annex them in just 3 months, and this is just because of our size difference. We are now down to 36 subjects. I think we started with like 60-ish subjects today. Funny part, again, about the Imperialist Wars, I'm pretty much having all of the main, like, European Scottish provinces occupied, and that's 9.7% war score because they have an American subject. At least the cost of their whole mainland is also not too big. 140 locations for 22 war score. So this way, you see, the border is slowly gone, and we're up to 140 million of population. Just look at this graph over a year. I'm even more of a fan of the tax base, 84,000, and you see that line at the end, which is thanks to spread of the railways, the proximity, as well as control getting higher. This is of course gonna update after a month tick. I just unlocked 50% manpower from an advance, which makes my monthly recovery 60,000 now, and maximum power almost 4 million. I'm really getting ready to get this Fusiliers regular regiment. This is simply to get rid of the, remnants of the coalition that is still out there. Another thing that will help with that is attacking Florence in 4 days, because they are allied to so many European nations. Since I killed Scotland, United States actually got formed, and their full name is United States of America. We also have Republic of Canada next by. Via a weird event chain got declared on by Wielki Novgorod. They demanded their cores back. How many cores do you have? Pretty much nothing. But they've called in my whole coalition. Now, since this is not a coalition war, I should be able to piece out separately each of them, I hope. And that will just finally fix the borders in Europe and probably dissolve the coalition forever. This looks like the last stand from the AIs. They raised to 1.5 million troops. Let's see how many they bring, because, for example, big chunk of these troops is Egypt with 800,000. But if they don't get access, they can't come. Let's see, military access. These guys. Yeah, I don't think they have access. You stay there. Don't move. The only negative thing about that war is it is not imperialism, which means I don't have that reduced war score cost, so I can't fully next some of them. Like I will have to leave Siena of a few locations, save Lunenburg. I'm sure the same will be with Brescia. In case you're wondering, around that time you can also unlock an advance that allows you to ignore zone of control of the forts. Napoleonic Warfare, which I also just unlocked. This is a huge improvement, isn't it? With Conscription Center, which is bringing even more manpower and also faster regiments building. It can be built in any location type. That's a huge improvement. As well as the new unit type that is increasing the regiment size of my units. I think this too should be enough to just normal coalitions being formed. In the meantime, you can also see I'm steadily coring stuff that I conquered, but that one is much faster than early game, but it's still, plenty of areas to be cored. With the latest age unit types, you see my stacks are up to 100,000, which means we've got a total of 2.5 million of troops. And with the conscription centers that I'm steadily building, my maximum power is at 4.7 million. Did they also mention that we've hit 100,000 of base stacks, and that should be actually as well 100,000 of total income. Now with the most important part of this age finished, I'm gonna go to the previous ages and see if I skipped any bonus for the cartridge capacity, as I want to accept more cartridges to get more cores. And apparently there's nothing really, which is unfortunate. So let me just go for the age overall and see if there's anything that really needs, besides obviously stuff like mills to increase our economy, but our economy, as it already is, insane. Printing mill and iron mill for sure, paper mill, new production type of paper. But yeah, I think there's overall nothing like really crazy left to unlock. Just the economic stuff. My friendship with Castile ended, so obviously full next thing in our homeland is 42 war scope for 336 locations. Would that fix my name placement? Still not. As you see clearly, we are getting there. What I'll be doing for the next 30 years is of course getting more lands integrated. This is what I have now. And obviously building up, getting more advances and scaling our base stacks, scaling our proximity and scaling our control. And since I annexed every single subject, except some colonizations I took over from the wars, I started pushing towards centralization so I can get some proximity cost. Here it goes, 200 million people living in the European Empire. And did you guys see that there's a Warsaw Museum going on with 500 pieces of art over here? Everything is in 8% of all art in the world is in Warsaw. As we are about to end, I would like to test a thing. You know, railroads are giving huge movement cost, minus 80%. And do we have any national modifiers to movement cost? Army movement speed plus 12%. It is 1st January, so we just have 12 months at the end of the campaign. How much do you think it's gonna take us to take this 100,000 of armies from Warsaw to Lisbon? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. No general for a few days. Let's see. I'll go speed 4 and we'll be able to fold the army and see how fast they are moving with the railways. Yeah. The colonial wars also happening, but we are so strong they are willing to white peace they won. Why would they declare them, right? If they were the difference so much that they're willing to peace out immediately. But you see, it's 18th of January, we're already in France. I don't think we're gonna arrive there by the 1st of February, but it's gonna be very early February when we arrive. Yeah, we're in Spain 1st February. And in Lisbon, we're gonna be on what, like 5th, 6th, 7th February. Quite fast, right? Before I pass the end date of the campaign, let me show you the state of the country in various map modes. 10 million maximum power. Our base tax is 191,000. So when we tax this to the maximum, you see that we've got 187,000 of total income, which is almost 100,000 of balance. I could get it with a bit of minting or decreasing, like I don't have to spend on this, for example. 130,000. Anything else I could decrease? I see 136,000 of balance. Let me show you my map modes. This is tax base, obviously gold mines, the silver mines. Even when we look here, all of the top 10 are gold mines and silver mines. This is our urbanization. I just start doing towns and cities all around the homeland just so I get the control map. So blue, but you see it's overall doing really well. This is our proximity map, also doing really well. Look that we got the cost of the proximity between some of the locations like below half, which is really nice for us. This is obviously the markets, roads, cultures. So if you want to see how much you have of the main culture, it's 43 million less than Polish that we're having across the world. These are the religions, institutions, literacy. Wherever I had towns and cities, you see I easily got it to 100, so our average literacy is 77. In the rural locations, obviously increasing much slower. And if you talk about the advances, we talk vast majority of them, all of them Age of Traditions. See 15 missing in Renaissance, 31 in Discovery, 24 in Reformation, 24 in Absolutism, and 45 in Age of Revolutions. So even though we're doing really well with research, we did not research everything. But this is it. I hope that you guys did enjoy this campaign. And as is this obviously the last episode of it, let me know what should be my next big campaign I should try in EU5. Having in mind I'm still continuing my Portugal campaign that probably has 2 more videos to be recorded. Oh, and I almost forgot to show you guys. This is my integration map mode. We've got most of the stuff across whole Europe integrated, except, you know, a big chunk of the British Isles and Iberia. Most of the other stuff is either integrated or cored. And if we pass 2 month ticks, we should get the end game screen. There we are. This is the end screen. You see our scores 55,000. We were first for the most of the game. A population graph is just beautiful. 224 million people living in Europe. Obviously we have highest score than Napoleon of France. We could continue playing. Let me just peace out this useless war and end the campaign here. For today, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and I'm gonna see you soon.